Hi, and welcome to the Down to Finance podcast by Future Finance Group. We recently hosted our first time investor seminar, bringing together experts from lending, accounting, property, planning, and more. Across the night, there were plenty of sharp insights and real-world guidance, so we're distilling some of the best moments for you here. This week's guest is Patricia Zurrer, owner and managing director of Property Consulting Australia. Patricia shared what makes a strong investment property, how to assess growth markets across the country, and why clear strategy matters before you buy. Without any further ado, here's Patricia.
Thank you everyone and welcome to this beautiful night, and thank you Amy for having us and the Future Finance team. We love working with you and a lot of familiar faces here tonight, which is fantastic. So I am the owner, director of Property Consulting Australia. A bit about me, I love horse riding and holidays, and that's why I need to invest in lots of property and make lots of money so I can afford all my expensive habits. So if you're like me that loves money and really want to make your money work better for you, investing in property is the best. And at Property Consulting Australia, we make investing in property so easy. Investing in property can be complex. There's so many choices that we have. Do I invest locally? Do I invest interstate? How does it all work? What's the implication on tax? How could I structure it better? So we're really here to support our investors navigate all the complexities with investing and make it super easy and support you all the way through. So a little bit about me before we delve into what makes a good investment property. I have a double degree from Monash University. I majored in all those, boring numbers subjects like accounting, economics, tax law. I'm a bit of a numbers nerd as well. I think we all are. I bought my first investment property at 23. At the time, I was living in Williamstown, and I certainly couldn't afford the real estate there. So I bought my first investment property actually in Frankston for $195,000. And yes, it was so fun. And then I grew my investment portfolio from there. I travelled a lot, so I loved having debt where the renter pays most of the costs. And then watching those properties grow in value was just so rewarding. So when it came time to buy my principal house, I bought and sold 8 investment properties over the years, and then I sold 2 investment properties to buy my dream home. So it was a really great stepping stone, investing in property, to achieve that goal. Now my investment properties is more about retirement and setting myself up for future wealth. So Director of PCA in 2016. I've helped clients invest over $100 million. They've had capital growth of over 14.8% on average per annum. And I'm really proud to say that 90% of our clients are referred or repeat. And our philosophy is, if we help our clients find the best performing properties, they're in a position to buy a second one and add to their portfolio, or they tell all their friends and family, which we really appreciate. And last year, I became the proud owner of Property Consulting Australia. And really happy to have Nicole here, who's up the back. Nicole was a client of mine. She bought 3 properties with PCA, and now she's our operations manager, and we couldn't do what we do without Nicole. So thank you, Nicole. Okay, so how we help. We research Australia-wide. We heard a few comments about investing in Victoria. Yes, there's land tax and stamp duties different per state. It's all about finding the best performing property for your particular circumstances. Amy mentioned it as well. Every person is different with their tax and their income and what they want to achieve. So it's really about creating a strategy and finding the best performing property for your particular situation. We have a strong focus on capital growth, and I'll touch a bit more on that as well. It's all about leveraging for growth. So, every property, or not every property, but a lot of properties you've heard, will double every 7 to 10 years. Our goal is to help clients find properties that grow in value over 2 to 3 years so they can use that equity and leverage that into their second property and build that portfolio. We look at conservative, low risk, low vacancy. We make sure it's affordable and profitable based on research and our analysis with the client to create a customised strategy. And it's really about long-term set and forget. So there's a lot of different ways to invest in property. Some people flip, some people buy apartments. Next slide, please. Renovations and flips can be amazing investment opportunities, but they do take a lot of time and a lot of money, and not everyone has that. Commercial can be amazing as well, depending on your business, but you need very, very high, Amy talked about 10 or 20% deposit. You need much higher deposits for commercial. High risk, boom and bust, mining, defence force housing. We avoid all the things that cause a lot of issues. Some things are higher risk, which can be amazing reward, but we love to focus on low risk and high returns to maximise the opportunities of investing in property. Okay, so three key things to really focus on when you're looking to invest in property. It's all about creating a really good strategy, and the best way to start is really exploring, what is my current situation? What goals do I have? What's my cash flow? My budget. What time frame do I need to create? Like has been mentioned earlier, start having these conversations and asking these questions early so that you can really map out a plan to get you from where you are now to where you want to be financially. Then combine your, discovery of really what you want to achieve with Australia-wide research, and there's some amazing growth areas. The Australian property market is not one property market. There are so many property, micro markets, and property's very cyclic. So what's already on the news or what you've heard, recently in Perth, we had 18 to 45% capital growth. It's not a good time to invest there now because you're already buying at the peak of the market. So it's about understanding, what capital growth looks like, what the property cycles look like, and what is driving that growth. What infrastructure is there, what government spending, what time frame. It's great that, we've got this train line coming through, but if it's not coming through for 20 years, probably not the best time. So really understanding Australia-wide research and what's coming up and what is going to be the best timing and budget for you. And then strategy. We've got some great tools at Property Consulting Australia. Like anyone can invest in property, but it's so important to have a quality team around you. You can go to the bank and get finance, but it's so much better to use a broker to really analyse, all the lending and find the best opportunity for you. It's the same with this. You can go out and buy a property, but we do all the hard work and research, and we can help you find something that's going to fit your strategy. So we work with some amazing tools with retirement, wealth calculators, capital growth matrix. We go through property selection. We provide our clients with all the research, and it's great to see some clients in the room tonight. All the research and a property investment analysis, which analyses all the numbers. And we saw the structure and impact on tax. It's so good to be able to depreciate assets while they're growing in capital as well. So you can really maximise the benefit of wealth creation and tax strategy to really put yourselves in a better financial future. So who do we help? People who want to invest in property, people who don't have the time or knowledge to make informed decisions, and people who want help to grow a property portfolio to set themselves up for future wealth creation. So a couple of case studies before we finish. This is Sue and Damien. I have changed the names, of course. Sue and Damien are local. They're in the Frankston area. She worked for the government and he worked for... he was like in a medical area, like a nurse. Both normal income, both paying a lot of tax. Teenage boys, so not a lot of time. We helped them source a property in Queensland back in 2019 for $527,000. It was in a very strong growth area based on all our research. The current value is $825,000, so they've had capital growth of $289,000, which equates to about 11.3% per annum over the last 5 years. Then we helped them with 2 properties in 2022. One was in Victoria for $528,000, current value $590,000, not as much capital growth as you know in Victoria over the last 5 years, but that was more of a retirement property that's in Victoria, and it's right on the beach, so it will have good long-term growth, but it still achieved 6.74% per annum, which is above the national average. Then they purchased a property in WA later that year, for $628,000. The current value is $780,000 and total property growth $152,000. So they've achieved $512,000 across those 4 or 5 years, which is fantastic. The next clients we helped was Peter and Cindy. They were renting in Frankston when I met them. We met for a coffee. They had no idea about how they could leverage the equity out of one of their investment properties. So they were renting, but they owned an investment property too. We could pull the equity out of one of their investment properties, buy a property that was in Gippsland for $400,000. It's now worth $670,000 back in 2018. So they had $266,000 of capital growth. Queensland was in their self-managed super fund, and WA was their last property. They've just sold 2 of the properties to buy their dream home, so they're really excited about that. They've achieved a total of $797,000 capital growth in 6 years. And the last clients we met back in 2017, again, 3 properties, and the total amount they've received on capital growth is $1.15 million, and that's across 7 years. So knowing what you want to achieve, your budget, your borrowing capacity, how you can structure it for tax and growing your wealth is so important. And then finding the right assets that fit your strategy, fit your risk profile, and really set yourselves up to create that wealth for the future is something that we're really passionate about helping our investors in. Okay, here's just some shots. You know, we're on the ground running. Our acquisitions managers in Queensland. This is some shots in Perth. We both flew over and checked out the progress of some of our clients' properties as they were built. We're often finding land in new up-and-coming areas, and buying before there's schools and shops and infrastructure is so good because you get the capital growth, especially once all the infrastructure is there. And we've seen that time and time again with our investors over the last 9 years. Here's a completed property, very different to the little sand pit we saw on the previous slide. So you can see, you know, obviously buying new, there's amazing depreciation benefits. You attract a far better quality tenant. There's massive savings in stamp duty because you're only paying stamp duty on the land. And then you've got a new build which has all your warranties and guarantees. So it's a really good strategy for a lot of people who want to reduce risk and maximise returns. And it's like a little mini development because you're buying the land off the developer and then you've got a new build. So it's a great way to build up that capital growth in the short term. So if you really want to make your money work for you, make sure you've got a good strategy in place and find properties that fit your strategy and enjoy the beautiful benefits that property investing can achieve for you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the Down to Finance podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, follow along on socials and hit subscribe so you're always up to date. Just remember, nothing you hear here is personal advice. Everyone's circumstances are different, so have a chat with your broker or financial advisor before making any moves. And if you're unsure where to start, Future Finance Group is here to help you map out the right path. Catch you on the next episode. Thanks so much for listening.